Following the wired MMX 100 and 150 gaming headsets that we reviewed last year, today Beyerdynamic is out with its first wireless gaming headset, the MMX 200. Packing many of the features of the USB MMX 150, the 200 adds Bluetooth and cuts the cord for a more convenient gaming experience. But coming in at $250, it's up against some pretty stiff competition, so let's dive in and check it out. Hey everyone, I'm Jordan with 9 to 5 Toys. Now the MMX 200 shares a lot of the design language and really a lot of the features of the MMX 150 that we checked out. Check out the review up here in the corner if you want to see more about the wired version. Round ear cups have these metal yokes connecting to the headband. There is a detachable microphone, and the textured matte black coating seems to hide fingerprints really well. On the left ear cup is a volume wheel that can also be pressed in. This wheel will glow different colors for different status modes of the headset. Moving further down on the left ear cup, there's also a Bluetooth button and USB-C port. Over on the right ear cup is the power button. That USB-C port on the left ear cup handles charging with the included USB-A to USB-C cable, but it doesn't pass any audio through. You can't connect it via USB-C and use the headset. So the benefit here is that you can still use the wireless dongle and have audio and then charge it at the exact same time. So we mentioned that there is a Bluetooth button. This does have 2.4 low latency wireless as well as Bluetooth. Now when you are using the wireless dongle, you cannot simultaneously use Bluetooth and wireless at the exact same time. You have to, it's a triple or double press, depending on which mode you're trying to get to, of the Bluetooth button to swap between those. In the manual, Beyerdynamic, it does call out a hybrid mode though, where you can use a USB-C to 3.5mm cable to connect the MMX 200 to an audio device and then simultaneously use Bluetooth. Unfortunately, that cable is not included with the MMX 200. That will be available separately, so you can't do that out of the box, which is a bummer considering this is a $250 headset. I would have assumed, I would have hoped to have seen that included in the box. Just like the MMX 150, there is an augmented mode on the MMX 200 though. Basically, this is like a transparency or an ambient mode like you would find on ANC headphones. So if you hold in the volume wheel for, I believe it's about 2 seconds, there are microphones that will pipe in audio from your environment around you so you can be a little bit more aware of what's going on in the headset. So for somebody who wants, some good passive noise isolation, which these do have, but also wants the ability to occasionally be able to hear what's going around them easier, that's a really nice feature that you really don't see often in wireless gaming headsets. So something pretty unique, and if that's something that you're interested in, I don't know of many others that offer that. Just the other day on our live stream, someone in the chat was talking about how they need an open back pair of headphones because they often have family members who are trying to communicate with them, or they want to be aware of what's going on with their family. So this gives kind of the best of both worlds, where you can have a more isolated closed back experience and then also turn on that augmented mode and have a better idea of what's going on around you. So kind of cool to have those features built into a gaming headset. My biggest complaint with the MMX 100 and 150 was comfort. The ear cups were just a little bit too shallow and they press against my ears too much, and it was pretty fatiguing. And there are some similarities here with the MMX 200. They do still have pretty shallow ear cups, but there is some padding on the inside here on the driver cover, and really I haven't had issues, at least not the same issues I had with the 100 and 150 on the 200. While I do think there are more comfortable headsets at this price point, $250, this was not as fatiguing for me as the older wired headset. So I won't say that it's, crazy uncomfortable, but it's also not the most comfortable. The headset does have some pretty significant clamping force, but it's not quite as clampy as like the Turtle Beach Stealth Pro. A lot of Turtle Beach headsets usually have quite significant clamping force. So this is not as bad as that, but it does feel like it has a little bit more than the Logitech G Pro X2 Lightspeed. So it's kind of in between there, maybe a little bit on the more clampy side, but not as bad as some other headsets that I've found. But that clamping force does give it some pretty impressive passive noise cancellation. Having these on, it blocked out a lot more background noise than what the Logitech G Pro X2 Lightspeed did. So there are some benefits to having that clamping force, when mixed with these plush ear cushions on here. Up top, the headband is wrapped in kind of the similar material as what's on the ear cushions. Very soft, lots of padding there. I had no issues with comfort, coming up top with the headband. The dongle is this USB-C dongle where the little tip of it will illuminate orange when it is connected, so you know that everything's connected there and it's working. And it also comes with a USB-C to USB-A adapter. And in my experience, I have had no issues with wireless connectivity here. Moving all around my studio, even moving out into my garage a little bit, it's been a pretty solid connection, so I think it's working pretty well. So moving on to how do they sound, on the spec sheet they're using 40mm drivers with a frequency response of 20 to 20,000 hertz. And throughout that, standard frequency response, the MMX 200 delivers clear and punchy audio. While the low end isn't overwhelming, there is plenty there to provide a full sound when it comes to impacts in gaming. Likewise, with music, I found the slightly enhanced low end a lot of fun to listen to. While it may not be the best suited for highly competitive players who want to cut out low end for better clarity at the expense of natural sound, it was a lot of fun when playing titles like Starfield, and even me who plays Battlefield 2042 a little more casually. The mids also perform great with plenty of presence. When listening to music, like tracks like Mist by Protest the Hero, which is one of my favorite tracks for testing headsets, the guitars were easy to distinguish in this cluttered metal track. On the high end, there is a bit of extra dazzle that makes cymbals sound slightly unnatural, but that does translate well to clear audio when playing FPS games like Battlefield 2042. And while imaging and positioning are really impressive on the MMX 200, you could really hear the separation between different instruments and different sounds, the soundstage falls short when compared to other gaming headsets in this price bracket. Mainly the Logitech G Pro X2 Lightspeed, it gives a much more expansive soundstage. So overall, the MMX 200 gives some really fun sound with some great qualities, but I found myself wishing that there were some EQ tweaks in here that you could make. If I were to give it a tweak, I would drop the lower end by a few decibels, and then I would also put a little dip in the highest end as well to kind of bring down some of that extra dazzle. All right, and here we are recording on the microphone of the Beyerdynamic MMX 200. And just like the MMX 100 and 150, for a wireless gaming headset, I feel like this is a pretty impressive microphone. It's still not going to sound as clear as like a dedicated condenser with a large capsule or a dynamic microphone. For a wireless gaming headset especially, I do think that this microphone sounds pretty good. So big win there for Beyerdynamic. All right, so now let's just talk about a little bit about the competition. Like we've already mentioned the Logitech a little bit. Right at that same price point, $250, the G Pro X2 Lightspeed has a lot of things going for it. This is a good headset. Is it a $250 good headset? I'm not sure that I would quite give it that. If it had even some simple EQ tweaks available in a native app, that would definitely put it up a little bit higher. If it came with that extra cable that made it more universal and you could use it out of the box, plugged in wired to something else, that would also, increase the value of it for me a little bit. But as it is, between the two, I found myself leaning more towards the Logitech, preferring that headset over the MMX 200. I like being able to tweak the EQ. I found it a little bit more comfortable because the drivers aren't pressed against my ears, and I also enjoyed that it had a wider sound stage to it. So while it is a solid headset that does a lot of things well, I do think it sounds good, it's more comfortable than the 100 and 150, there's nothing here that really stands out as a clear, competitive advantage to me over a lot of the other gaming headsets. And the microphone is really good on here, but the Black Shark V2 Pro 2023 edition also has a really good microphone and is only $200. It does have some neat features like that augmented mode, and with the appropriate cable, being able to use Bluetooth and a wired mode simultaneously can be very convenient. But yeah, considering, the competition at this $250 price point, I'm not sure that there's much that really elevates this above other headsets, at least for me. So hopefully we'll see the price come down a little bit, over the holiday season. Of course, stay locked to 9to5toys.com for all of the deals. Stay locked to our YouTube channel as we're starting to do some roundups towards the end of the year during the deal holiday season. And if you want to chat about this headset live, make sure you check out our live streams, usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the middle of the afternoon, Eastern time. Just stay locked to Twitter and also check our community tab on YouTube, and we'll post about it when we are going live. So let me know what you think about the Beyerdynamic MMX 200 down in the comments below. And if you're looking for some other videos to watch, I'll link to our review of the G Pro X2 Lightspeed as well as our most recent video. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so others can find it easier, and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.